we may be in the middle of it. Okay.
I think Pravin uncle, we finished this one.
That was finished everything. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now we can go to Ang-Pravishta Agam. Okay. Or Ang-Agam. Just to refresh you, when you look into the Jain literature, okay, Jain Agam literature, okay, there are two major sections of the Jain Agam literature. One is the Ang-Agams and another one is called Ang-Agams. Okay. Ang-Agams are the oldest one, and it is written by Gandhar. Now, when you look into it, Gandhar are the only one who are immediate disciple of Lord Mahavira. So they have directly listened the sermons of Lord Mahavira. Whatever Bhagavan Mahavir provided the sermons, that thing was directly listened by Gandhar. Hence, whatever they compile, you can say it is very close to what Lord Mahavira said, because they are the people directly listeners. Ang-Bahya Agams means that they are written by acharyas, but those acharyas did not directly listen to Lord Mahavira. The Swadhyay was not done directly to them. So you got to understand that one, even though they were very highly knowledgeable, and whatever it is said to them by their gurus, which is Gandhar, and hope there is not much change occurred, and there is no reason for them to make any changes. So that is the Ang-Bahya Agam. But we all consider both together is still Ang-Agam, and we say by faith, this is the direct preaching of Lord Mahavira. These all Agams. Ang-Bahya Agam historically are very close to the speech of the Lord Mahavira, sermons of the Lord Mahavira, Ang-Agams. But Ang-Bahya Agams, right, if you have to categorize it, then you can say this is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay? But for all practical purpose, they are all Lord Mahavir's Vani. Okay, that is the one. And because Bhagavan did not write anything, did not compile anything, only thing is the disciples does. And that is the same thing in Buddhism. Buddha did not compile anything, but his disciple compiled it, okay, and that is their basis of practicing the religion. And we discussed it, this one. The Ang-Agams, there are 12 of them. The 12th one has these 5 sections, and the 4th section of the 12th Ang-Agam, which is a Drashtivad, it is called 14 Purvas. And the 14 Purvas come, they like in Samaro Mantra Valo Naukar, and a Chaud Purvano Swar. That Chaud Purva, it is these 14 Purvas, and we will see what is this. So that is the Ang-Agams. The Ang-Bahya Agam has also more subsections. Upangagam, Chet Sutra, Mool Sutra, Chulika Sutra, and Prakrinak Sutra. And between the Digambars and Shvetambar sect, also you will see Digambar believes Ang-agams only 14. Shvetambar Murti Pujak believes there are 34 books. And Sthanakvasi and Tirapanthi believes 21 books. And we will go through all these different things. Even though there are some differences, important thing is the philosophy is the same in all these things. The philosophy is same, means Shodravya, Nav Tattva, philosophy of karma, Achar, like 5 Mahavrats, 12 vows of lay people. They are all, even though they are coming out from different books, but they are all same. They are interpreted the same things, which is very fortunate for Jainism, that we do not have, philosophy-wise, even though there may be more sects and subsects, okay? But the philosophy-wise and conduct-wise, they are same. That's why you will not find that kind of the differences. Where the differences occur is in conduct. In conduct, particularly how to do the rituals. Whether, do we have to sit all the women on the right side or left side? Or do you do this way or that way? Okay, which is not that kind of a differences which are more philosophical oriented. Okay, is the which place, if it is from Gujarat, there is a certain tradition. That's a local culture gets mixed with these rituals. If it is from Rajasthan, there is another tradition works. And if it is from the southern part of India, there is a third different type of the traditions. So I'm just trying to explain you the kind of the differences what we have. It is not a really big and major differences. All right. That's the key things you got to understand. And these are all these sections and subsections. We are going to go through it now. So we know how vast our literature is, our scripture is, and there are so many things laid down at so many different places. Now, these 45 Agams, when you put all together in one book, that will be like more than somewhere close to 14,000 sloks. 14,000 sutras that will be becoming, okay? And the things, what I'm trying to say, that's a very vast literature. Out of that, like 60 to 65% of these 14,000 sutras, it is stories. Both Jainism, Buddhism, they give significant importance to the stories. Not the stories are historical, but it is easy to explain the principles through stories. If somebody tells you the story, that will be easily understandable. From by listening the story, you can understand the principles of intent, whatever it is said through the stories. Stories are never historical. So never consider the story is 100% true historically. Okay? Because author have taken liberty to and we discuss it during Prathmanu Yoga when we discuss all that one. So, but keep that thing in the mind that something is in the story, but they have not separately indicating that this is the principle. And now to explain this principle, we are telling you the story. All right, that's one thing. But if somebody tells the story and say, look, the story says, and hence this is the principle. Somebody derived the principle out of the story. Then there is a significant misunderstanding. Stories are not there to derive the principles. Stories are there to explain the principles. Okay? So principle has to be first, then the story to explain the principle. Not somebody just, derive some principles out of the story. Okay? And I will show you several examples where we have made mistakes deriving the principles out of the story. Instead of the principle, the story was to explain certain different types of the principles. Okay? So that's why these things gets more and more complicated. And we got to be very fully aware, is the principle explained first, then the story is told to explain the principle, or the other way? If it is the other way, it is wrong. That's the key point, you got to understand. Now, when we come to next chart, now the first thing we are going to talk about Ang-agams. What is in the Ang-agam? What is the historical background of Ang-agams? Okay, and what are the names of Ang-agams? And our two major sects of Digambar and Shvetambar, is there any differences among them? If there is differences, what are the differences? Okay, so these are the kind of the things we are going to talk about Ang-agam. And remember, this is the oldest scripture we have, the first 12 books, and the 12th one is already extinct. No, we said it. The 11 Ang-agams survived by Shvetambar. This is the Shvetambar tradition's belief. So they do have 11 Ang-agams, but they are not complete. You got to keep certain things in the mind. Jainism is an oral tradition. Even writing the book, put it in a paper form, it is considered possession, and that's a violation of the monks' vows. Hence, both Buddhism, Jainism is a oral tradition, memorization, and the memory, through the memories, they pass the knowledge from guru to disciples and continue. And we will see the historical significance when the first time the scripture got documented, penned down, write it down. Okay. So, but there are 12 Ang-agams. All 12 Agams are extinct by Digambar tradition. Digambar says, because it is an oral tradition, we did not preserve it in a completeness. We don't know what is added and what is original, whatever is survived. And hence, they took an attitude saying that there are no Agams are survived. Okay, so what is the basis of their religion? they are practicing the religion. What is the basis? If there is no scripture survived, they say the books which is written by ancient acharyas, means the books that is been written between 1st century to 10th century. Those books they considered Agam equivalent, even though they say it is not the Agam, it is not the Tirthankar Vani, but the intent of the Jainism preaching is been preserved in these ancient acharyas written books. That's why that is their basis of the religion. And like I just told you, in spite of all these historical variations, it is practically same, except few things, and that's what you are going to see, and we will discuss it also. What are the difference between Digambar and Shvetambars and so on and so forth. Okay, but the philosophy is the same, conduct is the same. All right, so that is the Anga Pravishta Agams. Now, this is the name of 12 Ang-agams. And I told you the 12th Agam is lost. Everybody believes Digambars and Shvetambar. But the sequence and the names of the 12 Ang-agams, both Digambar and Shvetambar are same. So it is not like, even sequencing is the same. Acharang Sutra is the first one. Sutra Krutang is the second one. Sthanang Sutra. I'm just saying the name so that at least you remember. Okay, these are the Jain Agams. Sthanang Sutra number 3. Number 4 is Samvayang Sutra. Number 5, fifth Agam, as a 2 names, Vakya Pragnapti or Bhagavati Sutra. Number 6 Agam is a Gnata Dharma Kathang. 7 is Upasak Dasang. 8 is Antahakra Dasang. 9th is Anuttaropapatika Dasang. Number 10th is Prashna Vyakaran. 11th is Vipak Sutra. And number 12 is the Drashti Pravad or Drashtivad. All right, so these are the first 12 Ang-agams, of which 11 are survived. Okay, let me go further. Now, the number 12th Agam, which is lost, what it contains. Some of the other Ang-agams, they contain the detail. They referred it. This is in the 12th Ang-agams. And based on that, Acharyas have figured it out. This is how the 12th Ang-agam is laid out. There are 5 chapters or 5 sections, major sections. Okay, 5 major sections. The first section is called 5 Prakrinas, and we will go through little bit detail of each to give you the idea. Second section is the Sutra. The third section is Prathamanuyug, or Prathamanuyug we know, it is the stories. Number 4 section is 14 Purvas, the Chaut Purvanusar is these 14 Purvas are this. And number 5th is Chulikas. There are 5 Chulikas in the 5th section. All right. And see, I wanted to go through so at least you get some idea. Okay, in case if you want to study any of these things. Okay. Now, 5 parikrama, the first section. Okay. And this is the name of those 5 parikramas. Chandra Pragnapti, Surya Pragnapti, Jambu Dvip Pragnapti, Dvip Pragnapti, and Vaksha Pragnapti. If you notice it, these 5 things, nothing but covers the Jain geography. We discuss it long. These first 5 books as majority part, okay, the first 4 books at least, significant portion of Jain geography is been covered. All right, that's what it includes. That's what the detailed description there. The second section is called Sutra. What it shows here is an account of 363 false creeds. During Bhagavan Mahavira's time, there are many philosophy is been proliferated. Many different people, okay, come up with a different philosophy other than what Bhagavan Mahavira was preaching. Okay, Bhagavan Mahavira was preaching in the philosophy wise 6 dravyas, 9 tattvas, philosophy of karma, all those things. But there are a lot more variation. There were 363 different religious spreader, religious leader also existed at that time. And there is an account of all 363 things is in that section. Okay, since the this Drashtivad is lost, so we just know the bits and pieces of names. That is all about it. Then number 3rd section was called Prathamanuyog, which is the life stories of the 63 great leaders, or we call it Salaka Purush. 63 Shalaka Purush means great leaders. That doesn't mean these leaders are all, everybody is right. There are bad leaders and the good one. Both are there. If it is a real bad one, okay, that is also considered leader, but it's in the wrong direction. Okay, instead of helping the community or people, they are hurting them. People are afraid of them. There are some of those leaders. Who are these people? Good and bad. Good one, 24 Tirthankars, 12 Chakravartis, 9 Narayans or 9 Vasudevs. But now the Prati Vasudevs or Prati Narayans, they are the enemies. Like Ravan is Prati Vasudev. Similarly, okay, Kans is the Prati Vasudevs. Okay, Krishna and Sudama and Krishna time, that time, okay. And 9 Baldevs. Baldev is a good one. So only the 9 Prati Vasudevs are the enemies. Rest of the 124 Tirthankars are pious, and Chakravartis, Narayans, and Balbhadras are the good kings, while Prativasudevs are the enemies. Just to give you idea. So don't think that all 63 are good kings or good rulers. Okay? So